On this episode, we dive deep into Thailand's thriving bluegrass music scene.
So if you've ever been curious about some of Thailand's fascinating musical subcultures, you'll love this episode of the Bangkok podcast.
Sawadee krap, and welcome to the Bangkok podcast. My name is Greg Jorgensen, a Canadian who came to Thailand in 2001 to take a break from all the free healthcare I was getting in Canada. Seriously, can a guy just bankrupt himself after getting a paper cut?
And I'm Ed Knuth, an American who came to Thailand on a one-year teaching contract almost 26 years ago, fell in love with the idea of laws just as suggestions until they're not, so I never left.
There's a quote from The Simpsons when Homer says traffic lights or stop signs are like pants, just a suggestion.
Well, that is the Thai way, as we talked about on the bonus show.
Yeah, if every driver obeyed every law here, it'd be chaos.
Yeah, true that. All right, we want to give a big thanks to all of our patrons who support the show. Patrons get every episode a day early, behind-the-scenes photos of our interviews, a heads up to send questions to upcoming guests, and access to our Discord server to chat with me, Greg, and other listeners around the world. But best of all, patrons also get an unscripted, uncensored bonus episode every week where we riff on current events and Bangkok topics. On this week's bonus show, we chatted about our upcoming travel plans, me to the USA and Greg to Vietnam, which neatly coincide with our week off from recording, a conversation about Thailand's gun ownership laws and culture in the wake of two shootings just north of Bangkok, and pontifications about whether or not Greg is living in a news bubble due to the fact that he hardly sees any bad news in his daily browsing. To learn how to become a patron and get all this good stuff, plus full access to over 800 bonus and regular back episodes, click the support button at the top of our website.
That's right. And as always, if you have a comment, a show idea, or just want to say hello, head to bangkokpodcast.com. Click the little microphone button on the bottom right, leave us a voicemail, and we'll play that on the show. All right, then. Well, on this episode, we talked to a fella by the name of Sunny Sachdev, who has lived in Thailand most of his life, but in the past few years has been a driving force behind the small but growing Thai bluegrass scene. Now, for those who might not know much about bluegrass music, it has its roots in blues and jazz, with a healthy influence from Irish ballads and other folk music. Usually played on acoustic instruments such as the fiddle, mandolin, banjo, guitar, and upright bass. It's not really a genre you'd expect to see flourishing in Thailand, but after seeing Sunny and his friends at the Banjo Fest event a few months back, we realized that it's yet another great example of Thailand embracing some of the more esoteric subcultures and totally crushing it. So we sat down with Sunny to talk about his audience, his banjo, and what bluegrass has in common with Thai folk music like Mawlam and Luk Thung. So here's our conversation with Sunny Sachdev. All right, we are psyched to be talking to a new friend, potentially an old friend of mine, but we're just going to say a new friend, Mr. Sunny Sachdev. Sunny, welcome to the Bangkok podcast.
Hey, glad to be here. Big fan.
Now, the reason I said that is because I swear that 25 years ago, you and I were hanging out at a house party and having fun and sharing beers and stuff. And we got a photo together. I can't find the photo, but a lot has changed for both of us since then. Neither of us have any recollection of that happening, but I swear it happened.
Yeah.
So nice to meet you and or meet you again.
Nice to meet you. I can't remember it. If you say it's a house party, then that's the reason we don't remember it.
Probably. Yeah, probably. And I'm glad Ed is here too, because of the two of us, Ed is more knowledgeable about these types of things, especially your chosen genre or one of your chosen genres of bluegrass and banjo music. Now, I met you at the Banjo Fest that I went to a few months ago, which was a great time. Really, really interesting. And it got me thinking about why are there so many really talented banjo players in Bangkok? It's not something that you would automatically assume. You wouldn't take it for granted. So can you just fill us in? Who are you and how did you learn to love this type of music?
Well, my name is Sunny. I am Thai Indian. And I love banjo music, specifically bluegrass and Irish traditional music. And, the shortest way I can say why I was into it was because of YouTube algorithm. I was listening to YouTube with my friends. We were having quite a few drinks, and then this band comes on. They're called the Dead South, and they had a banjo in it. And then the moment I heard it, I was like, I need to play this. And so that was about 2019 when I started.
Wow.
Oh, interesting. So you picked it up like later in life. You weren't like a kid banjo player at age 7.
No. It's like pre-COVID. That's when I started.
Oh, gotcha. This is wild. So now, did you have a musical background before that?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
So not only did you decide to pick up the banjo, you just, as an adult, you were like, I want to learn an instrument.
Yeah, like, although growing up, I've always been wanting to pick up an instrument, and then I did like maybe one class of drums, one class of piano, and things like that.
Right.
Nothing quite stuck like the banjo did.
Oh, wow. Wild. Now, we discussed this a little bit before we started recording, but you're Thai Indian, but you also live in Australia. Is that right?
Yeah, I went to Australia for a while, for almost 10 years for university.
Oh, okay. So So you actually have an international education and background.
Yeah. I mean, many Thai Indians go abroad as well. I think that, but I guess my formative years, right, was in Australia, but I wasn't into banjo then. I wish I was, because there's quite a big community there.
What is it about the banjo? Because I love it too. I'm not a musical person. I can't play any musical instrument, but there's just something about the banjo that is uniquely twangy, and it sounds so different and so fun. It's just a fun instrument.
Right.
Good way to put it. Yeah.
When I started, actually, I couldn't believe it, but one of the best banjo players in the world is Steve Martin.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
The comedian.
Yeah.
And in one of his bits, in his comedy bits, he said, you can't play a sad tune on a banjo.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
interesting.
Well, you actually can, but I think the main thing that really got me hooked into it was, this is all community music. Like most normal music now is kind of about a musician expressing themselves. Like, this is me, I'm on a stage, I'm telling you my life story. But, in bluegrass, in Irish trad, it's kind of like, hey, let's come together and play together.
Yeah, it's a bunch of friends jamming. It's folk music.
Yeah, I mean, at the time it was also like a productive way to drink beer.
Right.
You're kind of feeling like you're doing something meaningful, you're doing something great together, and then you're kind of hanging out together.
Well, let me know if I'm making the right assumptions here, but it seems to me that banjos and folk music and Irish music, they're sort of really heavily connected to niche cultures, Southern culture or Irish culture, or like Irish people in America who get together and play Irish music to remind them of the old land, kind of thing. I guess, does Thailand have a similar association with certain types of music? I mean, there's Mawlam and there's Isan music. Is there a parallel to be drawn there with sort of like, this is heavily tied to our culture, or this is heavily tied to the geographic region that I'm from?
Well, all I can say, and I think, Ed, you might know this stuff deeper than me, but when I play my banjo or when I'm practicing around people, they hear Mawlam vibes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Really?
So there's some parts in the way it's played, they get Mawlam vibes from it. So that's all I can connect.
Fascinating.
You and I have talked about it. I'm embarrassed about how little I know about Luk Tung and Mawlam.
Right.
I got to be honest. It doesn't appeal to me. The sound of it doesn't appeal to me that much.
This is what we said.
So I never got like sucked into it.
We're both really happy it exists, but neither of us listen to it.
Yeah, I'm like,
we
this
appreciate
is
its
cool,
art form.
Yeah, but I'm sure for a lot of Thai people, it must have some of the same vibes. There's something about music that has been around for a long time. It's just pop music can be tiresome and repetitive and formulaic, and it's almost at least for me, pop music it's almost like for kids. Like when you're 13 or 14, then you want to hear the new thing, and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
I'm starting to feel that way, and that's how I know I'm getting older.
Oh, that you don't care about the new thing.
That I have some snobbery with my
right.
tastes, and then I don't really listen to pop music anymore.
But that's maturity. I mean, it's only snobbery if you're like a jerk about it. It just means like you have taste. And before we started recording, I mentioned that I just get a huge kick out of just any Thai people who are into older American music. I'm more of a blues guy than bluegrass, but it never gets tiring for me to go hear a Thai band and they're playing 1940s like jump blues.
Right.
And I'm like, holy, this would be hard for me to find in the US.
Speaking of where it came from, like, when I got into the banjo, I quickly went on ThaiVisa.com to post a forum like, hey, who else plays banjo? I didn't know about bluegrass then.
Oh, I see.
I just started studying banjo music online. There's no teachers here. And then a friend of mine, Timothy Pennington, he said, hey, why don't you come to a jam? And then he invited me to the Train Night Market.
Right.
And one of our friends, kind of the guy who hosts these spaces, actually I pinpoint him as the reason the community is the way it is. He has a space in the Train Night Market and people kind of jam in front of people that walk by, and he's very friendly. Anyone can come. And I joined. And then, I got to hear his story, how he plays the mandolin, Tim plays the guitar, I play the banjo, that's the makings of a bluegrass band.
Okay.
And all this stuff comes from antiques and secondhand stuff. So in the Train Night Market, it's all about vintage stuff,
Sure.
secondhand clothes. Like, it's so big now, right?
Right.
And so what happened was he was selling antiques, and then, banjos just popped up in his stock, banjos, mandolins, and then
Oh, cool.
that's the start of it.
So that's how he started.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's how he started like 10 years ago or even more. And then that's how he started. He got people into it, by, just sort of jamming. A lot of people confuse it with country music and cowboy culture.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
When I came here, when I came into the scene, there was so much about dressing up like a cowboy,
Funny.
and I went to Kauai. There was a country and bluegrass festival. And I just started learning, so I didn't know the nuances yet, but everyone just wanted to dress like a cowboy.
Oh, funny. That's
There
funny.
were Confederate flags everywhere.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
jeez.
Wow. Okay.
And then people dressing up cowboys and Indians and sheriffs and things like that.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. That's especially funny for me because I come from Alberta, Canada, which is like the Texas of Canada, and there's nothing but cowboys and cowboy hats and
Right.
people walking around. I mean, that's one of my favorite subgenres in Thailand is like the guys you see at Chatuchak Market, the guys who wear like huge jade neck rings and big heavy necklaces and
Yeah.
fringe jackets and cowboy boots and stuff like these old sort of. It's like a Venn diagram between an old hippie and a cowboy.
Right. Those guys are definitely part of this because before the Train Night Market jam, it was the Chatuchak jam. So they sat in front of their leather stores, and people would see
Right.
this guy playing banjo, and then you kind of go and join him, and that's kind of the start of things.
Oh, interesting.
The history is so cool. I'm definitely no expert, but it all goes back to Appalachia. It's not even Americans associate it with the West, which is anomalous. It's not true at all. It's all Appalachia, which is really east, not quite East Coast, but Eastern, like West Virginia, and it is immigrant music. So I mean, it became American, but it is Irish and Scottish and British immigrants in Appalachia that created this music, and it's a mix of their own folk music with all these other influences in the U.S.
Right. So when you posted your original post on ThaiVisa, beyond a couple of people that contacted you, there was no existing community? What kind of feedback or response did you get?
You know what? I'm remembering now. I found someone posting that they're looking for a banjo, and I messaged just that guy. And so the community that was there was the cowboy dress up community.
It's funny.
And, back then I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. But as I learned more, I kind of became a bit, it gave me a different reaction.
Right.
You know what I mean? As I got deeper into what the music was about and things like that. But yeah, that's kind of the community that was there. There's this, you could say, young genius Thai kid who was playing since 4 years old. His dad would encourage him to play like Baroque or old English music,
Cool.
mandolin, so it just had all sorts of different people. I think that's what's super special about this music. My jam a couple of weeks ago, somebody joined with a banjo. I'm like, hey, where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm a pilot. And I just flew here. He's a commercial airline pilot.
Right.
He flew here. He came to the jam. Next to him was an ice cream salesman.
Oh, funny.
No way.
Do you know what I mean? Like those push carts, Paitong ice cream. He was a
I love
guitarist.
these subcultures, man. You're right. I mean, subcultures pull in so many different types of people.
Yeah. To be people that you would never expect to be hanging out together.
That's right.
And it was kind of like that back then as well. Just people from all different walks of life.
That's great. That's great. That's cool.
And back then, actually, you had I wasn't part of the scene, but it was a lot of retirees as well. Back then, these retirees that you live in Bangsaray, just outside Pattaya.
Right, sure.
So, but there was some true, like, hardcore, best in the world type banjo player retirees.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
See, the thing about this music, actually, most bluegrass musicians, they don't make that much money, compared to other types. So you get to learn from the best, right? Let's say I had lessons with the best banjo.
Because you have access to these quote unquote stars because they're not celebrities. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so you saw that in the people that joined the jams as well. Like,
right. There's no banjo bands selling out Madison Square Garden for 3 nights.
But that means it's for the
there
music.
is, but there may be just one in the world.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's funny. I feel that I'm curious what you think about this. I feel that in U.S. pop culture, all of these different genres of music, they have kind of a reputation or an image. And in the blues community, blues people definitely feel like they are a niche that there's rarely like a true hit that is a blues song. I think Tracy Chapman's blues song that she did, damn, what is that song called?
NASCAR?
No.
That's the only one I know.
Wait, hold on. This is a good thing to edit out. God damn it. It's like, you better call me. What was that song? You better call.
Hey Siri, what's Tracy Chapman's famous blues song? Siri sucks. Apple really dropped the ball.
Oh, Give Me One Reason. I remember. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think Tracy Chapman's song "Give Me One Reason" is the best-selling blues song of all time. But I got to say this: I feel like bluegrass is one step further out of the mainstream. There is Steve Martin, like you said. Like blues people complain about being, we're stuck in this 1% thing. But how do you feel? I feel like bluegrass is even one more step out.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, the most recognizable song is from Deliverance.
That's right. That's right.
And that gives, the whole image.
That's right.
Inbred bluegrass player.
I just showed that film to my students. I just showed Deliverance to my Thai students.
Oh my God. Traumatizing. It's, one of the things the funny stories that I have is that months and months ago, we were in Chiang Mai for my job, and we were trying to find a couple new places, like local, authentic places to grab a beer or a drink. And we were looking for dive bars. And we were trying to explain what a dive bar is to our Thai colleagues. And it's really, really hard. We're like, explained it, and they go, okay, so it's a terrible bar? Like, yeah, it is. It's a terrible bar, but it's a great bar because it's terrible. And they're like, I don't understand. We're like, okay, well, it's dirty, and there's like peanut shells on the floor and stuff. Okay, so it's a terrible, dirty bar. We're like, yeah, but it's more. So it was really hard. How do you explain bluegrass music to Thai people who might not understand the difference between country music?
Oh my gosh. What a segue.
There's a spotlight.
This is how Greg thinks. This is how Greg thinks.
But you know what? The main thing I always like to say is it's not country music. And I saw a meme yesterday. It's like, oh, are you guys together? And then the country guy will say yes, but the bluegrass guy will say no.
Oh, funny. Interesting.
And so bluegrass came before country, and bluegrass is an evolution of old time. And old time is from the Scottish, Irish immigrants, right? And then, well, I can't explain it. I think I just say, hey, these are the instruments, and then this is what we play. I've never been able to explain it.
It's one of those, it's kind of does have a parallel with Mo Lam or Luk Tung, where it's more than just the music. It's the culture, the history, the costumes, the accents,
No costumes. Not in bluegrass.
Not for bluegrass.
You don't think so?
Not for bluegrass.
I'm learning something.
Not in my jams. No, actually, the thing, I try to communicate that through all of the events I host. I try to, number one, have zero electrics.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know what I mean? And
acoustic, all acoustic.
Yeah,
nice.
That's one thing that's very important. And then also not on a stage is also one thing that's very important, where people are kind of surrounding you,
Oh, interesting. Cool.
And so you kind of hear that it's kind of the people and sharing music together. So people must see the passing of the solos, and I'll sort of tell people, hey, just watch who I'm looking at. That's who is going to be playing.
Okay.
Nice.
Always small, always acoustic, always people part of it. And that's kind of how I try to show the bluegrass vibe being part
Very
of
cool.
the people.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I try.
Now, what about acoustic guitar players? Are they ever part of it, or?
Always.
I
mean, acoustic guitar is a very important part of bluegrass. In fact, it would be for me a bad jam without a guitar player. they fill the sound, right? Also with the double bass as well.
Mm.
So the instruments are acoustic guitar, double bass, 5-string banjo, a mandolin, a fiddle, and then sometimes a dobro.
What's that?
Oh, that's great.
Dobro is like a
Steel
guitar that
guitar.
sits on your lap, and it
Yeah.
kind of makes Hawaiian sounds.
Oh, okay. I've seen those before.
You know,
All right. All right.
yeah, that's kind of how we try to do it. I think that's what appeals to me. It's the kind of enjoyment I get from my jams that I try to pass on, because
Right.
I don't want to be sort of just another band on another random night,
Right.
that sort of thing. And I feel like that's what really, really attracts me, which is like, hey, it's about deep connection. Because it's sort of my own, this thing has become my whole social life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you meet friends and you just pass around solos and play music together. Like
Well,
that.
I just love that this is something you found totally on your own. It's to me, it's cool that it's not part of your personal culture, your family culture, like where you grew up. It has nothing to do with that. Like you've completely adopted this,
right.
Americana, this old timey American thing, and to me that makes it more special. It's not the music of your ancestors.
Right.
It's your thing. You like it.
I mean, the emotional reaction it gives me, I feel like maybe, something happened in my past.
Oh, there's a reincarnation. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
your previous name was Sunny McTavish.
That's right.
Yeah. You know what? It's Thailand, and my day job actually is bringing clothing that is made the old way. Like we bring in vintage denim. The Japanese make great jeans based off of how Levi's used to make it.
Mm.
And then a lot of other clothing brands that I import and sell has this history, has a place it comes from, a reason they make it that way. Let's say that the pocket is here because of this. Everything has roots, and I find that I was always drawn to things that have roots, have heritage, and I think that's also applies to the music as well.
Right.
in what we do.
Are you finding that the musical tastes of Thais are changing and evolving? Like the younger generation now is more open to exploring these genres or styles of music that
Totally.
parents would not even know about?
Totally. I even abroad as well. Like normally, I would expect just older people to come and see the Irish
Right.
sessions or the bluegrass.
Old white
jams.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? There's been
Seamus and his gang.
So there's been just a lot of young people, picking it up, and especially now, our Instagram channel, the Facebook channel has been getting a lot of like 100,000 view videos,
Oh,
based
that's
off
great.
seeing organic jams happening. And I think it's making people interested. And I'm seeing people making bluegrass albums by themselves, So I think it's something about the instrumentation that is the draw here. Because bluegrass is a lot about instrumentation, playing fast, creating your own solos. And so it's attractive that way because it's cool.
Right.
Well,
You know.
let's pimp it a little bit. What is your Instagram channel?
It's Bluegrass BKK.
Bluegrass BKK. So listeners, follow that. And how do you normally record your jams? Does you have an iPhone informally, or how do you do it?
Well, we sit around a circle looking at each other. And so it's a 360 camera that I edit later.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
Cool.
Oh, very cool.
And we do some of these like jam-alongs where that's you, it's your turn. We try to do instructional stuff. You can check it out on the page.
Oh, excellent.
But with that stuff, like all the kids that find out about this music, part of them also comes from classical and violin. Because classical violin especially, is a very tough thing. It's
Sure, of course. Yeah.
very skillful.
Mm.
And so they get interested in this because also it's like fast playing. And so
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
been kids coming to the jams as well.
Oh, that's great.
I just showed my son School of Rock the other day. We
okay.
watched it. He never, he's only 11, so he's never
Right,
seen
right.
it. But it's a great movie, and then the whole thing was about taking these kids who were locked into this instrument plays this type of music, and then Jack Black comes in and blows it up, and he's like, no, you turn the cello on its side, suddenly you've got a bass guitar.
Right.
And when we were at the Banjo Fest, which was a fantastic evening, I noticed there was one woman there. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, but she was playing. There's one in the corner here, this upright bass.
Yeah.
And is that that instrument was not made for bluegrass music. No, I mean,
Well, there was actually two women there, two Thai women.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
remember one of them was a singer. That she was.
Oh, one of them sang as
singing.
well.
But this
Yeah.
woman on the bass, she was just wailing. She was really
Yeah,
great to
yeah.
watch. So, like, what's her story? Is she typical of a Thai person who wants to learn, or is she already playing that instrument and then just changes it to play this new type of music?
So it's a classic bluegrass story, actually. Um, actually, to sidetrack for a second, this is what I find that when I first heard bluegrass on Spotify or on the radio, I wasn't into it until I came to a show and saw the interaction and felt the vibe. That's when it really hit me. I love this, and this is the opposite for me with pop music, where it sounds better online, but
Oh,
doesn't
makes
sound so
sense.
good in
Right. I
person.
see. Right.
Bluegrass, it's the opposite, and so this specific bassist, her name is Nook, and she was pregnant as well. She's playing and singing, and she was pregnant.
Oh wow! Are you seeing more people be interested? Like, do people see that and become fans and come back to see you again and again? Like this nascent community that you've built, is it growing? Is it?
All of the shows have been sold out, all of them, and I'm so shocked. And I think that's because people want to hear something new. It's like what we talked about earlier, that it's not the same
Right.
pop or jazz or
Right.
blues that you get in Thailand.
That's right. It's
everywhere.
different. It is different. Yeah.
And so people get curious because there's only one scene, one organizer doing this here, um, and so it's always sold out, and yeah, it's looking like it's growing, and it's a struggle for me because our festivals are getting bigger, and then people in the back can't hear anything anymore because I try to keep it acoustic,
Oh,
Right.
and so we're just kind of devising ways to hide mics in certain places and have people kind of be around.
Good
Gotcha.
problem to have, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to play one of those old Greek amphitheaters where the acoustics are an old
Right.
Baroque church or something like that.
If you know a place, let me know.
And it are there a lot of Americans involved? It sounds like it's just very international, so it doesn't seem to have a quote unquote American flavor. I mean, it's American music, but that doesn't matter. It seems incidental.
You know what? There are, I would say, maybe 30-40% is
Oh, okay.
Americans.
Okay.
And, a lot of Americans, they moved here or maybe they're passing through here. I mean, we're lucky that Bangkok is such a tourist hotspot,
That's right.
right? And so we always have some great people coming through. And, we have one of the best mandolin players I've met move to Thailand. He's probably one of the biggest mandolin YouTubers. His name is Baron Collins Hill, and he's moved here. And,
Oh, wild.
so he's inspiring everybody. on
Oh,
his
that's
own
great.
way.
That's great.
But the other three mandolin players, they're all Thai.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Uh-huh.
so awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And then, I'm an Indian banjo player. You've got Thai bassists. There's surprisingly a lot of Thai people in this scene, which is great.
I'm curious, has the U.S. Embassy ever used you guys? I feel that you guys would be perfect just to promote American music. I mean, I know it has international roots and Irish and Scottish, but it seems like you guys would be great at an embassy event.
Not yet.
Okay, well, I'm going
I
to work
think-
on that. Greg and I are going to pull some strings.
That's
Please do.
We're going to make it happen.
I can play the triangle. So if you need a Canadian
Hey.
triangle player, I can bang a piece of metal with another piece of metal. I'm pretty
Calgary,
good.
well known for its triangle players.
Oh, huge. Yeah. That's how we
Someone
call
just
the cows in.
released a triangle album, actually.
What?
Yeah. Of like complex fiddle tunes. You know what I mean? He did it like seriously.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I wanted to mention,
Yeah, what is?
Thailand has been such a hot spot for discarded treasures,
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Okay.
And Thailand, so let's say 50 years ago, a lot of people in the US, they're charitable. They donate their clothes to poor countries, whether it's, countries in Africa or Pakistan. But people in those countries, many of them wear religious garb. And so they package and resell it. And that's kind of how the bustling secondhand and vintage scene is come about in Thailand, and so a lot of it is in Thailand, and one of the biggest vintage, I guess, receivers of donation, he's in Thailand, and so Thailand is now the biggest vintage storage where people and thrift stores around the world
Really?
come and buy from Thailand.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're talking about mostly clothing, is what you mean?
So warehouses of just discarded clothing, like old band tees, Nirvana, these old
Oh,
things
I
that
see
are-
what you're saying. Okay.
And in the same vein, Japan discards their quote unquote trash via train to like border towns in Thailand. So when you go, you have mountains of mandolins, mountains of guitars.
Really?
Oh, wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Where?
One of the border towns. I can't mention it. I can't think off the top of my head. I haven't been there.
But like
But
on the
I buy from them.
like on the border with Myanmar or Cambodia or Laos.
I think it's in the south.
in the south. Okay,
Yeah.
Malaysia.
Actually, the south is one of the main.
Really? That's
hubs.
fascinating.
And so that's where a lot of the instruments that fuel this music comes from.
Oh wow.
Discarded treasures.
So it's not expensive to get an instrument, is what you're saying.
It's not expensive, but the pickers go and see, right? Like what's still salvageable. And then they sell it on the second-hand market. And so that's what
Wow.
we see. A lot of amazing banjos come through. We see a lot of amazing fiddles. We see a lot of amazing guitars come
Oh.
through.
So
incredible.
if someone wanted to get started in banjo, what's the normal investment?
You know what? It's less than 10,000 baht.
Okay,
Yeah. But then you'd want to graduate from that pretty soon
right.
as well.
But like a basic intro banjo might be 7,000 baht
Yeah,
or 8,000
exactly.
baht. Okay,
Yeah.
not bad. Similar to acoustic guitar.
Yeah. And so I think that's the core reason this whole scene was created by this guy. His name is Dewitt, and his shop is in the Train Night Market. Actually, his shop is where all the jams happen. And so you'll see all this stuff. And it's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, it just started because of picking.
Oh,
It's just very organic, hey?
Yeah, you're well, picking has two meanings. We're picking the
Picking the trash
treasure
and picking the strings.
and picking the strings as well. Yeah.
I got to head out to the train market. I've never been there. It's the one up by Raman. By Raman.
Ratchada, right?
Srinakarin.
Srinakarin.
Srinakarin, actually, no, Ratchada has a train night market as well, but the main one is in Srinakarin.
Srinakarin.
And that's where all the viral videos come from, because you're sort of got these 8 random dudes, one Japanese guy, one American, one Thai. And then, suddenly 50 people have stopped around you.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
just looks like a spectacle. But the thing about starting there, as a beginner, it's very friendly. Actually, bluegrass is a music that has such a low barrier to entry, but almost limitless growth.
Right.
That you can jam with someone as a beginner as well.
Mhm.
That's what's great about it. But in Thailand, when you're a beginner, you want to join the jam that's there. But the jam that's there, people are looking at you all the time. And
I see.
You remove all of the stage fright immediately.
Oh, because you're right on stage immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Growth, it would be like trial by fire, but it's like growth, straight on stage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
I did stand-up comedy in Canada, and that was the only advice that everyone got me. I was like, so how do you do it? And they're like, just do it. Suck
Right.
it first and then get better.
Right.
And there's nothing stopping you.
Then there's one more thing, actually. When I started learning the 5-string banjo, the 5-string banjo has African roots. I don't know if you've heard, but like the banjo, they say it's from Africa because there's an instrument called the akonting that has a drone string just like the banjo, and that's what inspired the modern banjo.
Oh.
And then, from there, it evolved into the Irish banjo as well. That's the 4-string. So in Bangkok, we have a really, really tight-knit scene, but there's just one session each that everyone can join. So every Saturday, we meet up at O'Leary's at 4 p.m. It's on Sukhumvit 15.
Okay.
Sometimes you get an amazing set where you have, like a professional player kind of stopping by from Ireland on their trip to the islands.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy what you get, but sometimes there's only 2 people there and it sucks. So
Okay.
that's kind of the nature of sessions.
Right.
know? So that's the festival that we do, actually. The festival that we do it at this hotel, Public House in Sukhumvit 31. We combine Irish music with bluegrass music with old time music because they all have shared roots. And so once a year,
That's
we
really cool.
actually personally fly in these like best players in the world, and they're so friendly, like none of them is such a big celebrity, right? They just want to come
Right,
to
right.
Thailand.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And everyone's just playing together. So for a week, you've got the best Japanese banjo player with the best American banjo player, and then an amazing fiddler from Australia. And this is the only scene that I feel like this can happen because everyone is actually playing because they love it.
Sure.
Right.
You know,
It's
what I
all
mean?
about
Like,
the music. Yeah.
yeah.
So when is that festival? That's at we're right now we're recording this at a restaurant, hotel, bar called Public House.
The festival is happening this year. It's on October 20th to 25th.
Okay.
It's called the Southeastern Gathering.
Southeastern Gathering at
Yeah.
Public House on Sukhumvit 31.
That's right.
I'll be here. Well, Sunny, thanks, man. It's good to see you again after so long, and or meet you again for the first time. I can't remember which one, but you're doing some really cool stuff here, and not just you, your friends, your colleagues, your contemporaries as well. Banjo Fest was real fun, and I got to make it out to the train or to the vintage market to check out the jam sessions. And I will be back here later this year for the festival.
Awesome.
What's the website people can check out? Is it just Instagram?
It's bluegrassbangkok.com.
Bluegrassbangkok.com.
That's right.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, thanks, man. I'm going to go home and listen to some banjo music.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, sir. Dude, as you know from the interview, I love that. I love talking to Sunny. I found that one of the more interesting interviews we've done. I'm a big lover of live music in general. I teach a class in American music history, and I'm also just fascinated about subcultures. Even back in the States, I used to love documentaries about subcultures, like weird things like Trekkies, and I love, you know what I mean? Like I love subcultures. And so Sunny and this whole bluegrass scene in Thailand, it just combines all this stuff that I'm fascinated by. And I mean, the interview kind of said it all. It's just, or your introduction said it all. It's kind of odd that this would flourish here, but it is, and it's so much fun, and it seems to be spreading.
Yeah, it's great. And it was funny when I went to the Banjo Fest, I didn't know what to expect, but the musicians were absolutely top notch, and it was packed. I mean, it wasn't a big place, but there was 80 people there, maybe more, And these guys, I'm not a huge bluegrass fan. If it comes on, I'll listen to it, and I know a little bit about it. But man, it's just one of those subcultures that goes deep, and the deeper you go, the deeper you can go.
Yeah. I talked about this in the interview a little bit. I'm a diehard blues fan, and back in the day, I really did not like bluegrass. There's kind of a thing in blues, like some blues people are like, we don't play bluegrass. It's kind of a thing.
La-di-da.
Yeah, that's right. But then later, when especially after so about 10 years ago, I think I taught my American music history class for the first time. And for that class, I had to do more research, and I forced myself to listen to more country music, more bluegrass, stuff that I was kind of like, oh, that's not me. But I never actually sat and listened to it. And so 10 years ago, when I actually sat down and like, okay, I got to listen to some bluegrass so I can talk to my students, I really liked it. And I was kind of surprised. Like it's as we talked about in the interview, it's really Appalachian hill country music that comes from, Scottish, British, Irish folk songs with all the mix of different American stuff. So it's true Americana. It's American history in the music itself.
Yeah, exactly. Would it be as weird is the wrong word? Would it be as interesting to see like some random hipster American guy like super into Luke Tung in like Madison, Wisconsin or something, and he's like, you go to a Thai Luke Tung performance and there's
a bunch of white dudes, a bunch of white dudes.
There'd be like 80 Thais, and then up on stage there's like a bunch of American guys just wailing on the mouth flutes.
Well, as we know, there are some white Luke Tung and Malam singers.
Yeah, there are two.
Yeah. Two famous ones, right?
Two famous ones, yeah. But no, super interesting, and Sunny was a very knowledgeable, interesting, cool,
for sure,
laid-back dude.
I love the fact that he came to this later in life. That's always refreshing when someone says, "Oh, I started playing, the guitar when I was 45," or even in your 20s. Because most of us try musical instruments when we're young, and then it either sticks or it doesn't, and then most of us just then leave it behind. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I love when I come across someone who started playing piano as an adult, or maybe they learned to sing. I feel, especially in the States, if you don't sing when you're young, or if you're not in like chorus in school or sing in your church choir, I feel that not that many people pick it up later.
Right.
So that's what I like. I just like, just as adults, finding a new thing that 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 motivates you, and that clearly is what happened with Sunny. And then, so he's become a very good player himself, but then he's helped jumpstart this community and support this community, and I think it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. You add that to the pile of stories. You're like, Harrison Ford didn't start acting until he was 40 as well. So there's hope for us late bloomers.
For sure.
But it was cool. In the interview, we talk about how he has a weekly jam session with his fellow Bluegrass players. And a few weeks ago, I actually went out to where he plays at the Srinakarin Night Market,
Cool.
the vintage market. And it was really cool. It was just him and 6 or 8 other people just sort of sitting around in a circle, drinking some beers and jamming. And it was really, really cool. I tried to take a video and I held the camera up and I started videotaping. I'm like, hey, everyone, this is for patrons. Hey, patrons, it's Greg here. I'm the name of Sunny Sachdev. And then, of course, at the end, I realized I took a photo.
Oh,
video,
funny.
So
well, I have some video. I
to
actually saw them do pretty much the same thing, but it was inside. So I do have some video that we'll be able to post for listeners. But as Sunny said in the interview, I love the fact that they really focus on the social aspect of the music. So it's not just, hey, we play bluegrass. They have almost like an ideology about it where, hey, we're going to do, it's mostly unplugged. Like obviously sometimes they have microphones, but it's acoustic, and then it's social, which means they just sit in a group and play songs and trade solos. I love that aspect of it.
Great stuff. So everyone head to their website, which Sunny mentions, and check out their stuff. They have some events coming up that we are going to be at, and hope to see you there. Good stuff. So thanks, Sunny. It was a great chat.
Thanks, Sunny. It was a blast.
Yeah. All right. Let's do something we call Would You Rather, where one of us picks 2 contrasting situations tied to Thailand to debate and choose which one we'd prefer. Now, this week, Ed, I got a question for you, a hypothetical thrown your way.
All right. Hit me.
Pretty simple hypothetical. Would you rather be a Thai person living in America who speaks no English, or an American living in Thailand who speaks no Thai?
Okay. I mean, in theory, this sounds like it should be a tricky thing, but unfortunately, it's easy because I think you're in more trouble in the West if you don't speak English than you are here if you don't speak Thai. It's just an unfair, unequal cultural thing. Just because Thai people just have to put up with just all of us idiots who don't speak Thai.
It is unfair.
It's totally unfair. So I mean, it should be in a fair and just world. That should be a very difficult question with like nuances, But I think because the world is so unfair, and being a native English speaker it's such a natural advantage that I think it would be quite rough. Obviously, there are communities. There's a Thai community in the U.S., a big Thai community in L.A.,
sure, yeah.
A huge Thai community in Boston. So if you were in the States speaking Thai with no English, you could survive. I mean, you would just stick to other Thai people. But the U.S. is, I don't want to say it's unfriendly to people. I guess it is. I mean, in a way, it's just, you're just expected to speak English, and people just look at you like you're crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, how could you not?
Yeah.
How could you not speak? That's how it is in probably the U.S. and Canada. It's like because English is so dominant worldwide that it's, and especially if you're untraveled, like most Americans are, you just think it's kind of insane if someone doesn't speak English. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit.
In Western countries, if you want to take part or be involved in any sort of civil discourse or
That's right.
official
That's right.
lifestyle, then you pretty much need to speak some level of English. But here,
that's right. You could survive with, unfortunately, you can survive with zero Thai. And, you and I we're way beyond zero, but we're still at the lower tier and feel pretty guilty about it. So so listeners out there, if Thailand is quite friendly to people who don't speak Thai, but it's still a good idea to try to learn at least some. So I think it would be quite, man, if you didn't speak any English, it'd be rough. And, a lot of my students who have been exchange students, they say that, some of them, they go to the States in 10th or 11th grade, and they say to me, my English was so bad I barely spoke anything. But then it becomes a sink or swim thing. You know, you get thrown into like a American public high school in 10th grade, and so the first 2 weeks you're bewildered, but then you it's sink or swim. So you so then by the end of the year their English is 10 times better.
Yeah, you're right. It is unfair, and I would much rather be here speaking no Thai.
That's right. It should be a difficult question, but it's not.
Yeah.
Alrighty. A final thanks to our patrons who support the show. Patrons get a ton of cool perks and the warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that they're helping in our never-ending quest for cool content. Find out more by clicking support on our website. And connect with us online. We're Bangkok Podcast on social media, bangkokpodcast.com on the web, or simply bangkokpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners and always reply to our messages, unless, of course, you're a PR agent who pitches clients who have no connection to Bangkok.
That's right. You can also listen to each episode on YouTube. You can send us a voicemail through our website that we can feature on the show. Hit me up on Blue Sky at BKK Greg. Thank you for listening, folks, and we'll see you back here next week.
No doubt.